All right, OBS people. Corey here with Okie Overdrive. Today we're going to replace the speedometer cable on this 91 F250. 87 to 91. All these trucks with the cable. This particular truck is four-wheel drive, so the cable is on the output of the transfer case. If you have a two-wheel drive truck, it'll just be on the transmission. Same process applies. On the cable itself, where it attaches into here, and I've already disconnected this connector for the speed sensor. That just pops off of there. You've got an 11 millimeter nut that I've already pre-loosened off that stud. Basically just gonna get that stuff off there, and then this is gonna slide right out of that housing and get this over here where we can access it a little bit easier. Reposition my camera a little bit. So we're gonna remove this gear, and there's a couple little notches in this clip. You just grab a hold of one and gently pry that up there, pull the clip off and set it aside, pull the gear off, set it aside. Then there's a hairpin clip that holds the cable onto this assembly here, and you're going to just take a pair of needle nose, pull on it a little bit, and then now the cable itself is removed. So we will take this off, set it aside, clean it up, and clean it up for the gear for the new cable. And we'll go ahead and follow along. You'll need to come under the truck. Let me grab my light and we'll roll along here. So as you can see, this cable routes along here. Looks like some mud dauber's been living under this one. So here, this is actually not even in there, but there's a little bracket here that just helps secure the cable. Try to pop it back in there and show you all what it would look like. So it should be attached just like that. Cable runs into the floor of the cab right there. So you're going to want to pop that out of there and give plenty of slack with that cable. And we'll go up to the top side and show you from there. Okay, so you can refer back to my other video if needed on how to remove the trim to get to this point. Basically, you got 4 screws on the outside corners at the top and inside corners at the bottom. They're T20 Torx or 7 millimeter. You're going to want to remove those screws, and the cluster is going to be in there tight, right? We've loosened the cable under there. You might have to get back under the truck and push on that cable to feed it through to give you a little bit of slack. I believe I have it loose enough where we can get back here to access it. And I'm going to figure out a way to hold this camera where I can show you how to disconnect the cable from the cluster. Let's see if that'll hold steady here. All right, so if you see this little tab on the bottom of this cable, what you're going to do is you're going to reach in here with your thumb. You're going to squeeze that tab. Hoping I'm trying to get my camera to not fall over here. You're going to squeeze the tab, push in a little bit, and then it will slide off of the cluster. So now we will take this cable, kind of drop it back at least out from under the dash. I guess it probably would be easiest to pull it up through the top, so let me make sure it's all free and clear underneath, and we'll start pulling it through. I have pulled the carpet back here just a little bit so I can show you the grommet where the cable runs down under the truck. We've got it pretty freed up, so what I'm going to do is just start gently pulling this cable through. The skinny end is the end that goes into the transmission. So you're going to want to pull it out through the dash. And then there we go. Cable is removed. Now let's get the new one ready. Alright, with the cable fed back through the middle of the dash and down to the floor, now we're going to reattach this cable onto the back of the cluster. Wish it would quit focusing on my hand. Basically, you're going to get it lined up there. Make sure that it's going into its oriented position. And then basically it just pushes on there until it clicks. Now it is engaged and back on there. And we can get the cluster sitting back in there. We'll come underneath, pull this cable down, help set the cluster back into place, take out all that slack. Alright, and then we'll go back under the truck and reattach. Okay, so got the cable ran back underneath the truck and took the speed sensor here, sprayed out the inside, made sure that's all clean. Clean your O-ring surface, make sure that's good and sealed up. You're basically going to feed this back down in there, make sure the cable goes into the receiving end of that hole. Click it in past the clip, and I left the gear on the workbench. We'll be right back. All right, and then we're going to reinstall our gear and our clip. All right, that is all ready to go back in. So now we will come back up. There's really no room to get the camera up in there, but there's your hole. Also, just make sure, I've already wiped that out, make sure that hole is clean of debris. And we will slide this back in. We will get our nut. Get that started. Tighten it up real quick. Just snug. We will get our electrical connector, plug that back in, and we're done. Now, as far as reassembly on the dash goes, basically reverse the removal from my other video, but we will go ahead and give you a quick run around here. So you will put your 4 screws back in. You got 2 down here, 1 up there, 1 up there. Once you get the cluster seated back into place, you will get your upper trim, slide it in bottom first, and then gently pop it back into place. You're going to trim screw here, 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 and there, and then there's 2 upper screws. Get those all put in, and then we'll put the lower pieces on. Now with those 6 screws on the upper piece, we'll put the lower pieces on, starting with the right side, and basically get it back into place. Gently pop your clips into place, and don't forget you have 1 screw right here. Okay, now we will put the left side on. When you go to put this side on, first thing you're going to do is plug in your harness to your fuel selector switch. Then you will gently work this back into place until your clips pop in. Your knobs that you previously removed, you will just slide back on. The clip will hold them. I did locate a second knob for my wiper switch which was missing, but it is missing the little metal clip, so there's nothing to permanently hold it on there. I'll have to find a clip or find another knob. But there it is, back together and ready to go hit the road again.